today we're focusing on some of the side dishes that the children eat. And these are actual dishes that we serve. Kale salad, cauliflower, baked potato. And our final dish for the day is portobello mushrooms with Vidalia onions. The first thing we're gonna start with is the kale salad. I have kale, cilantro, lemon juice, and lemon and lime, red onion. And what I'll do is I peel that onion. I leave the one part whole so that I can get a nice cut on it. And I just get it ready. It's gonna be very different for everyone. I'm not really dealing with quantities because I don't know how big your family is, but I think most people nowadays are in the kitchen, they're familiar with items, and they're gonna make about the same amount they may make for their own family. I've got my salad here, my greens that have already been washed. Make sure you're triple washing your produce, or make sure you buy it triple washed. And I've got all my kale ready to go. And it shouldn't be a big production. Once you do all of your prep ahead of time, you're good to go. I just take my kale, I lay it out, and I mix in plenty of cilantro. It should be a nice cilantro taste throughout the dish. Get it good and mixed in. I'm going to take extra virgin olive oil and put it right through. Mix it up. And a trick that we always use in the kitchen is we always mix a half salt, half pepper, half kosher salt and half ground pepper, coarse ground pepper. And I always just make sure that I dress my salad before I start adding dry seasoning, because if you don't, it'll all just fall right to the bottom. So I've got my kale. It's dressed with olive oil. I'm adding some fresh ground salt and pepper. It's pre-mixed. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of lemon pepper. And remember, lemon pepper already has some salt in it, so don't overdo it on the lemon pepper. I have my red onions. I'm just going to mix those right up in there. Put a few on top for garnish. Make sure you make it appealing to the eye. That's what we try to do to the students. Try to make our food as presentable as possible so that the children will want to eat it. I top it off with some lemon juice. And there we have our kale salad. Very simple. Another side dish that we often serve is cauliflower. And we often put that in the produce bag for the families, and I always want to make sure that they know what they can do with that. So we have here today our regular cauliflower, but for those who may not be aware, cauliflower also comes in a variety of colors, purple and yellow. We just take our cauliflower, that's a whole head of cauliflower, and then just put it into small pieces to roast. I put it in a dish, take some extra virgin olive oil. I toss it to make sure that it's thoroughly coated. And then I add some salt. I always use kosher salt. Some coarse ground black pepper. I'd say about a tablespoon of each, depending on your liking. And then I always like to top it off with a little bit of smoked paprika. Give it a nice smoky flavor. I have it in a preheated oven, 400 degrees. And I put it right in there for about 20 minutes until it's nice and brown. There we go, roasted cauliflower. The next item that I'm gonna focus on as a side dish that we actually make here is a baked potato. Everybody has a different way that they like to do their baked potatoes. The way that I like to do them is simply baked at 400 degrees. I take my potato, I use a russet potato, about a 70 count. Don't get one that's too big because it's just too hard to bake. So I just wash off my potato thoroughly, scrub it. This is growing in the ground, and make sure that all the germs and dirt are off. Let it dry. And then you're gonna just take some vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil because it'll burn. So you take some vegetable oil and you're gonna oil up your potato, thoroughly oil it up, cover all parts of the potato and the sweet potato. Now, the one thing I will say, when you finish your sweet potato, make sure you wash off all of the salt. Not really so on the baked potato. I like the taste of the charred salt right on the potato. Then I take my kosher salt and I cover it. And that salt works as a jacket for the potato and it cooks nicely. To get it ready, you're gonna have your oven preheated for 400 degrees and you're gonna bake that for about an hour. There we have it, the baked potato and a baked sweet potato. Put that in the oven, 400 degrees for 1 hour. Finished product, baked potato. And our final dish for the day is portobello mushrooms with Vidalia onions. It's a very, very simple dish. You just clean your portobello mushrooms. Make sure you brush off all the dirt with a warm rag to make sure, or a warm cloth to make sure that it's dirt-free. You cut them up. There we go. Have all the portobello mushrooms ready to go. I then take my Vidalia onions. I spread them out liberally over the portobello so that it soaks right down in there. All that flavor goes right down in there. And I take my soy glaze. Soy glaze is sold as a finished product. And if you don't have it as a finished product, you can just take some soy sauce and some honey. And maybe if you can find it, some black soy sauce, mix it in. And you just top everything off right there. You're gonna finish that off with a little pepper. I like coarse ground pepper. And if anything, you just do a pinch of salt. Not much at all because the soy sauce already has salt in it. And that's the roasted portobello mushrooms with Vidalia onions. Put it in the oven, 400 degrees, 20 minutes. Watch it carefully. And you have a finished product. Roasted portobello mushrooms with Vidalia onions. Well, thank you very much. I'm the Chef Crooms, the Director of Nutrition Services here at Eagle Academy, with some of the beautiful side dishes that we've served before and that we'll continue to serve into the new semester.